The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Today's the day you've all been waiting for. It's the kickoff of the 2021 NFL season. We are glad you're along on the ride with us this morning in the Sportsocracy. Follow, like, and share the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Hit that subscribe button as well. And, so tonight's the night.
Them cannons, by golly, put more powder in those things.
God, I can't wait for the just pure sadness of tomorrow.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Big shout out to our Patreon subscriber, Scott Cutshaw, for getting me this nice little Tom Brady Super Bowl jersey. It's an alternate. I like it. It's nice. Gets me all pumped up for tonight as the beginning of the NFL season, and we're going to talk some fantasy football as we do every day right here in the Sportsocracy. So, where would you like to start?
Well, I mean, we got to talk about your damn fire those cars, by golly. And their sweet 0-1 start that begins tonight.
Stop that. It's not going to happen. Obviously, Jeremy will have your pick for the night coming up on the ESPN Asheville show this afternoon. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Look, this is the toughest test to start out the season that I think they could have given us. You've got a team in Dallas that's coming in, and they are out to make a statement this year. Dak's back from the injury. We've all seen or maybe not all of us, but you know, we've been privy to the inside attitudes of the Dallas Cowboys with the Hard Knocks series on HBO, and they're saying all the right things. They got Dak and Ezekiel Elliott up there trying to lead the crowd, and we're going to do it this year. Everybody's expecting us to be good once again. This year we got to focus on not letting them down. I think that's the constant theme for the Dallas Cowboys. Or at least it has to be. Because every year we believe that Dallas has the talent to be a contender. And tonight's the night to prove it. To take down the defending champions on their home field on opening night.
There's something about this game that's bothering me.
What's that?
And it's that the public sway has completely gone to Tampa Bay. I have said this, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. When the public goes that way, you should probably be looking for an on-ramp that way. And so, I mean, I'll level you. I'm taking Dallas tonight. Not to win, I'll take them to cover.
Yep.
There's a possibility they win.
Yeah,
because there's something about your Buccaneers that everybody seems to be forgetting.
Okay.
One, you can't run a greasy peg up a cat's ass with both hands. Two, your secondary is not all that good, and you're missing Jordan Whitehead tonight. Yeah. If there's anything that would be scary to me, it would be walking into a game with Dallas going, I just am not sure about our corners. Because they have 3 top 30 receivers in the NFL.
Yes. That's the one thing that I am worried about tonight. And, apparently the line keeps going up. It started out at like Tampa -6.5, and in recent days it has spiked up, and now, well, I mean, if this is accurate, I just saw in the comment section here on YouTube, Evan Doyle says it's up to 9.5.
You can get it at 9.5, and you know what I say at 9.5? Hey, look, this is what a lot of people that don't do a lot of gambling don't understand about lines in the NFL. That's the biggest line of the week. Mm-hmm. In a week where the Philadelphia Eagles play.
Yeah, but they're playing a bad team.
No, okay. I get that Atlanta offense, and you got that. The only thing you have to combat me with is Darius Slay. Okay. I like Kyle Pitts this many. However many far my hands can spread apart, that's how much I like Kyle Pitts this week.
Okay.
But this is the biggest line of the week.
Yeah.
You don't see double-digit spreads early in seasons. There's a reason. because teams are not clicking on all cylinders. I understand you returned everything. There's also a Super Bowl hangover. There's also a lot more pressure. Dallas has a hell of a lot more to lose tonight than Tampa Bay does. Let's just, for shits and giggles, one of my favorite questions is always, who cares more? Let's say you lose tonight. Does it change anything you think about anything with Tampa Bay?
No.
Let's say Dallas comes out and gets just slaughtered. What's the first thing you're going to see tomorrow morning?
They're overrated again.
We them boys. We still them boys. Yeah. With that stupid meme where all the quarterbacks are in the big circle. And they know that. And I got news for you. This team's really freaking talented.
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are really talented. They have one corner, which is why the over is my favorite play of the night.
Right. I am worried about Dallas. And it's not, and it's because of what you just mentioned with the secondary. The secondary is the one part of the Tampa Bay defense that got a lot of pub last year at the end of the year because they were playing lights out. It was like, oh, look, you know, they've become real boys. These these guys who were just an amalgamation of, you know, solid, young, developing talent. The way they played at the end of the year, it made you feel like, oh, this is gonna be hell on wheels. I don't know that that's true. And you're going to give me Carlton Davis against Amari Cooper and Sean Murphy Bunting against C.D. Lamb? No, thank you. I will take the Dallas side of that 100 times out of 100. Now, it's because I have Tom Brady on the other side that I go, I feel pretty good about winning this game. Do I feel good about covering 9.5 points? Hell no. The money should be on Dallas.
So Chuck G said in the comments that Tom Brady doesn't allow for Super Bowl hangovers. I'm glad you said that. This is the 5th time Tom Brady has played in a season opener. First game of the year, the Thursday night spectacular. How many times has he covered 9.5 points?
None.
Once.
Okay.
By half a point. The last time they played in the season opener, coming off a Super Bowl title, got the fuck beat out of them. Kansas City took them behind the barn and beat the piss out of them.
Yep. That was the Kareem Hunt breakout game, wasn't it?
That was the one where Kareem Hunt fumbled on the first play of the game, and then they never stopped him again.
I remember that game well because I was in a hotel room in the Dominican Republic while Hurricane Irma was blowing through.
By the way, you need a better travel agent. Don't travel to the Caribbean during hurricane season.
It's when the rates are cheapest.
I knew that's what you were getting ready to say. No shit.
Hello.
It's like saying, hey, we can take a trip to Tulsa, Oklahoma in July. Yeah, and your car might get thrown back at you by the world.
Tornado season. It's where you get the cheapest rates.
Of course you do. If you ever see a vacation and you're like, that just looks really cheap, there's probably a reason. It's probably barracuda swimming in those waters that will just eat you.
Right. I don't need to spend $1 million to have fun on my vacation.
There's certain things that you never go cheap on. Toilet paper, condoms, toilet paper, did I say that one?
Yeah, you said toilet paper.
Yeah. I'm really trying to emphasize that. Vacations.
Is that because of the toilet paper that I bought for the bathroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was the only one they had at the gas station.
It's reapportioned notebook paper, which is why I don't poo here. I will go to that gas station where they put nice potty paper in their bathroom.
Well, when you run out and you're like, oh, God, I got to have some toilet paper right now. Gas station's the only thing open at 7 a.m.
Oh, Kelvin Joyner, first one on the board today.
Nice.
This might be the Florida in me speaking, but anything less than a cat 2, we're still going to Disney World.
Fuck yeah.
My wife's from Florida, so I understand that.
Yep. Don't scare me.
I am not. I hear categories. I hear it's even going to rain, and I'm looking at the Jaguars, the Packers Saints game in the Jaguars Stadium, going, they're saying it might rain.
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Like if I had tasted that, I'd just fuck it. No.
When Hurricane Irma was coming through, they were doing the whole, they had to have like a class for everybody at the resort. Like, this is what you do in case of a hurricane. And oh, by the way, we're booking flights. If you'd like to get out today, you need to leave today. And I went, there's still 5 days left in my vacation. Fuck it. Hurricane party, baby. I ripped it out like I was still in Charleston in college. We're having a hurricane party. I'll load up on all the alcohol I can and put some tape on the windows and let's see how this baby works.
I see the only hurricane party I ever attended was when Florida State beat the shit out of Miami. You didn't beat us for like 10 years, so enjoy it while it lasts because it ain't going to last for long.
Right. Anyhow, what were we talking about?
My wife also said don't go cheap on hookers, which I'm a big fan of.
Sage words of advice from Mrs. Greene.
Yeah, the more comments she makes, the more it's very obvious as to how matrimonial bliss was found between the two of us.
Yes, indeed. No, coming up tonight in this game, I am afraid of what that Dallas offense can do. But I think Tampa can score with them. That's why this is one of my favorite games to play. And we're going to do that throughout the program today. We're going to rank every game by fantasy interest. But tonight, I think Dallas will cover the number.
I do too. I think Dallas will cover them. I think it's going to be a good game. Mm-hmm. I think the low-key exciting part of this is Ezekiel Elliott's going to be able to run more easily than you think.
I don't think so.
Okay, walk me through this. I understand you think every player for Tampa Bay. You literally are the Madden Ultimate Team Raider of your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So take off your fanboy glasses and be really honest with yourself about something. First of all, you play 3-4, notoriously easier to run on. Mm-hmm. Fact or fiction?
Fact.
Your secondary is not good. You have one you're fucking wrong. You have one high-level player in the secondary. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to play nickel against this team because they're going to play 3 wide receivers constantly. Mm-hmm. Fact or fiction? Mm-hmm. All right, so now you've limited it down to a front 6. Devin White is one. Mm-hmm. Levante David is the other. Mm-hmm. Think about your front 4. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to drop Devin White or somebody's going to get torched. Probably whoever's lining up across from CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
So now you have 5 in the box, a lot. Mm-hmm. What does that tell me you're going to do if you're the Dallas Cowboys?
Try to run it up the gut.
I could see a lot of that. The thing that I hate the most. I'm not going to throw it. No, take it, no, take it. The fucking RPO bullshit.
Against Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh and JPP and Shaq Barrett, I'm fine with that. You try to run the ball all you want to. Teams haven't been able to do it against Tampa in 3 years.
Just always remember, I know your defensive coordinator better than you know him. So you're still in that. You're still in that honeymoon phase with him. Oh, he's so good. I watched this. I've seen him do it. I know what he does.
As a defensive coordinator, he's good though.
He's fine. I also know schematically what he does when he comes up against a tandem of receivers that he don't think he can stop. And unless he's got an IQ about very similar to my cup right here, he knows one-on-one we're not stopping them. Mm-hmm. You tell me where the lie has been told here. There you go.
Yeah.
Anytime you can't stop a team, heads up, they're going to be able to run. I don't care about Vita Vea. I don't care about Ndamukong Suh. I don't care about any of this shit.
You should.
Okay. Just remember you said that.
How many rushing yards do you think Ezekiel Elliott racks up tonight?
I'm not saying it's going to be crazy. I'll go 85.
Okay.
I'd take the over on 80. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I would take the under on that.
Okay.
But that's just me.
And now Chuck G had a real good point. Ezekiel Elliott could fumble on the first play of the game, and that wager might have to flex over to Tony Pollard. But
well, it's not like they're going to bench
this
Ezekiel
is not
Elliott.
going to go the way you think it is. You think Tampa Bay is going to come out and just be able to grind the ball down their throat. It's not going to go that way. Never happens that way on opening weekend. There are very rarely ever blowouts in this game, and if there are, it's usually on the side you didn't expect it to be. Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it was going to be a blowout. I already said I think Dallas is going to keep the game close. I think they're going to be able to. They're going to be able to move the ball, but I don't think it's going to be on the ground.
I'm going to say something that may make me look like a dumbass tomorrow.
Okay.
I think that defense is better than people think.
The Dallas defense?
Yes.
In what way, though? Do you think that secondary is going to be able to match up well against Chris Godwin?
I don't think they're going to try. I think they're going to do the exact same thing that Dan Quinn did in Seattle.
Okay.
They're going to play three high. Jonathan Welch, I know he's in the comments, knows Dan Quinn pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to play three high. You stay in front of us. I don't give a rat's ass about you dinking and dunking to Chris Godwin. It's that over-the-top shit that you're not going to do. And they will be able to do that on you.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I don't think this game's as shootout-y as everybody thinks it is. I've heard a lot of people say, this is my favorite game of the weekend. Well, you're wrong. It shouldn't be. I can think of 4 off the top of my head better that I like.
4? No.
Buffalo, Pittsburgh.
Wrong.
No, you're drunk.
Wrong.
You're drunk. Can either one of those teams run a greasy peg up a cat's ass? No. The answer is no. They're 2 of the 5 worst rushing teams in the NFL.
Oh, I thought you believed so much in Najee Harris.
I do. Not against Buffalo, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have secondaries that are grossly overrated against receiving corps that are grossly underrated. Yeah, I'm going to be on that.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that makes me nervous, the wind's going to blow. But it's not going to rain, so I get big arm Josh Allen, big arm Ben Roethlisberger. Yep, think I'll be just fine.
Okay.
I get Levi Wallace on Chase Claypool.
Well, let's just go ahead and get into this.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get into the fantasy appeal ranking of Week 1 in the NFL. You want to start at the top or start at the bottom?
You always start at the bottom.
Always start at the bottom. Okay, so last game in the 16 matchups that we have in Week 1, the least fantasy appeal game is to you what?
Jacksonville Jaguars,
It's
Houston
not even
Texans.
close. It should be everybody's.
I didn't even pull up the list of games and I knew that.
Right. Jacksonville, Houston is obviously the
But now there's one
the
piece of
stinker in
every
that.
game that you should be interested in.
Exactly. And that's true. There's going to be a fantasy star in every game. The fantasy star of Jacksonville, Houston is going to be James Robinson. It's not even close. Houston sucks big time. I don't think they're going to put the pressure on Trevor Lawrence in this game. I mean, he's obviously going to try to sling the ball, of course, but what are you going to do? Protect your rookie quarterback. How do you do that? Run the damn ball.
Name me a pass rusher for the Houston Texans.
No chance.
Whitney
of that
Merciless is the one I thought you might get.
happening. No chance of that happening.
Jordan Jenkins is the other one. Do you know who Jordan Jenkins is?
I mean, I've heard the name.
He was a linebacker for the Jets. He was a linebacker at Georgia. He's been a linebacker his entire fucking life.
Right.
He's the other defensive end for the Texans. He's also about that big.
Brian Cushings. Is he still on this team?
Brian Cushing's been out of the league for like half a decade.
Rob Johnson.
Brian Cushing is running an insurance company at this point.
-1 for Rob Johnson.
No.
That's not how that works.
No, because I think he said it to be funny.
Maybe so.
Because that was
And
probably the last time they had a pass rush.
And if that's the case, good for you. That's the last time they had a pass rush, when J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, Brian Cushing were all in town. No, every game does have a fantasy star. You are right about
James
that.
Robinson's my #1 running back this week in DFS.
All right, so and look for the DraftKings winner take half.
Yes. Winner
Video
take half
is going to come out soon?
it's not a video for that. It's the running back video for DraftKings for week 1.
Yes.
Whether you're in that contest or not, still just gems of wisdom. The one thing I will audible is from yesterday, I had both quarterbacks in New Orleans, Green Bay. If it rains there, I'm out.
On both?
No, I still like Jameis Winston, but he's going to be – the thing about Jameis Winston is he's going to be higher owned than people think. And Marquez Callaway, I am Seacrest out on. When Green Bay basically came out and said, we're going to put Jair Alexander on the one guy that scares us.
Right.
Okay then. Forget I said that. I said Adam Troutman wrong. By the way, Alvin Kamara is going to be like 500% owned. So I'm staying away from him, but you do what you want to do.
The next to last fantasy appeal game, the 15th ranked fantasy appeal game of the day. To me, it's Denver and the Giants.
So I have to.
The Denver Broncos at the New York Giants. I don't like anything.
It's going to be
really.
A slog, and the under. It's a 41.5 current over/under. That's my favorite under of the week.
Yeah.
If you told me that game ended 10-7, I would be only nominally surprised because the Giants' defense is better than you think it is, and I just don't really like either of these offenses.
Giants against the run, though. Is the one way that Denver can get the advantage. So Melvin Gordon, obviously the starter. Javonte Williams will see carries as well in week 1. I would say an amalgamation of those two. Primarily, it would be Melvin Gordon as the fantasy star. But the Giants' secondary is really good. I mean, they got Adoree Jackson and obviously, James Bradbury was one of the best corners in the league last year. Mm-hmm. And you're going Teddy Bridgewater, first game with his new wide receivers. I get he has a lot of toys that we like, but this ain't the statement game, in my opinion. So I think the fantasy star of that game is Melvin Gordon, and I don't feel great about it.
Melvin Gordon's in my top 8 of running backs this week. They're going to run him into the ground because Javonte Williams he'll have a role, but it won't be as big as you think.
Yep.
By the way, in the comments, the little hand icon, if you're in the Southeast, just throw a little hand in the comments. I'll tell you why in a minute. Anywhere in the Southeast. If you live in a place where people talk like I do, just throw a little hand in there. I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay. Number 14, fantasy appeal matchup. Mine is Miami and New England.
I disagree with you.
I don't think that's going to be a fun.
I like it from one side.
Game. You like it from the New England side
because let me give you a dramatic reenactment of how I think this game's going to go.
Okay.
Hold on, let me switch over to my camera. This is Miami. This is New England. Yeah, that's a dramatic reenactment of how I think this game's going to go.
Uh-huh.
I think New England is going to beat the bejesus out of Miami. And I've changed my opinion on that in the last week.
Okay.
And it's not Mac Jones. I swear to you, it's a little Mac Jones. Kind of like when a woman says, it's not me, it's you, or it's not you, it's me. Yeah, it's a little me.
Right.
It's a little Mac Jones.
Right.
But the Tua thing's starting to bother me. Him not being a captain, all of the opportunity Miami's had to go, no, he's our guy. And they just keep going, wait, what? Is somebody talking?
They're just playing it safe. They're just keeping their options open. You know, they're kind of playing the field.
First of all, we're like an AA meeting. So Patrick West, that's a new name.
Hey, Patrick.
Welcome to our fun little circle of debauchery.
Damien Harris will be the only guy in this game that I want.
Number 4 running back in DFS for me this week. Mm-hmm. People are going to avoid him because they think Miami's defense is good. I told this stat on the ESPN radio show yesterday. Where was Miami in total offense last year?
Oh, what was it, 18?
22. Where were they in total defense?
20. Something like that.
Defense is overrated. And the run defense is grossly overrated. Mm-hmm. Damien Harris, fire it up.
And you think New England's going to make hay in the passing game as well against that secondary?
They'll be just enough.
Okay.
Xavier Howard and Byron Jones are going to shut down the outside guys. I look to the slot. I look at the tight ends. And James White. James White's going to eat in this game. Not somebody I'm really interested in for fantasy purposes, but I could see him scoring a touchdown. He's going to have several catches.
Yeah.
You're in PPR and you're desperate, and I mean you drafted J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, and Tim Tebow desperate, then I could see James White.
This is one of those games that if you told me it was going to be 10-7, I would not be shocked.
Glenn Hopper said, I laughed when Tua said he turned down being a captain. That'd be like me saying I turned down Cyndi Lauper.
Did he really?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah, he did. I turned it down. Yeah, bullshit. That's like me saying I turned down a cheeseburger. No, I didn't.
They asked me if I wanted to be a captain. I said, nah, I'm good.
All right, so the reason that I asked if you're in the South, starting tomorrow, you're going to hear the two of us all over the Southeast. We'll be giving gambling picks on every
sports station,
every sports station, every radio sports station all across the day on Friday, all over the Southeast.
Yep, Knoxville, Tri-Cities, Atlanta, Greenville, and in Asheville, of course.
Yep. If you're in a major city or a metropolitan market, you will be able to hear us. I don't go as actually. You know what? We have to re-record it anyway, so I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
crazier than hell. Just nuttier than a Chinese chicken salad.
Right.
Let's go.
Right. It'll be Mullet's Money Making Minute, brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets, airing all across the Southeast on sports stations near and far.
Yep. This is stage one of our ultimate rollout of the best sports talk in the Southeast with the best grocery store in the Southeast. Low prices. Love the savings. I'm going to say that a lot over the course of I might say that just sitting next to you in a bar. Hey, you been to Ingles? You hadn't? Fuck you.
You should do it. All right, who is your number 14 fantasy value matchup?
Which one is mine?
Yeah.
For me, this was close, and you're not going to like my answer. It's Rams-Bears.
Okay.
It's Rams-Bears.
Yeah, I don't like that. They're way higher on my list.
They shouldn't be. It's two good defenses, and it's two offenses that are going to look a little disjointed to start off with. Straight up, they
Maybe.
are. They are going to look disjointed to start with.
Yeah.
You got Andrew Dalton starting for the Bears. That's not going to be pretty. All right. You got Jalen Ramsey on the other side. You got Aaron Donald on the other side. That's not going to be good. Matt Stafford and the new offense. I have said that. If I've said this once, I've said it 500 times. Matt Stafford's not as much better than Jared Goff as you think he is. He's not. Would Jared Goff have been fantasy relevant in this game?
Yeah.
No.
Against this secondary? Their secondary's
that
not
has
that
Khalil
good.
Mack. You're worried about the wrong thing. First of all, they have Jalen Johnson, which is that's fine. Because he's going to be on Robert Woods, which makes me absolutely hate Robert Woods.
Right.
I don't like either of the running backs because they're going to be, for the Rams, because they're going to be in a timeshare. And I can just keep doing that. There's a piece here, a piece there. I'm not playing Allen Robinson this week. Straight up, if I drafted Allen Robinson in the 4th round, I think he's unplayable this week. Andrew Dalton throwing on Jalen Ramsey. I'll pass.
Right. I'm with you on that side. I like this game for the Rams side more than anything. Because I think Cooper Kupp is going to have a big game.
That's another under that I like a lot.
I don't argue that Chicago has the pieces to get after the quarterback. They will be able to make Matt Stafford more uncomfortable, but I think the Rams are going to be able to score points against this secondary. I like that game a little bit more. They were like my 10 this week in fantasy football.
Yeah, not like
fantasy
it was
relevance.
way off.
No, it's not way off. I didn't say it was way off. I'm a little higher on this game than you are because of the Rams side. Chicago side, I don't want any of it.
This is another piece of the world's largest parlay that I'll be giving out on the ESPN Radio show tomorrow. It's this many.
A 10-teamer?
It's a 10-way parlay. It's not a 10
Oh, okay.
Because there's a couple over-unders in there. The under on this game is one of the sides of that.
Right. Okay. So your 14 is Chicago, LA. My 14, Miami and New England. 13. Who you got at 13?
This one's close, and I'm going to have to explain it.
Okay.
It's Eagles-Falcons.
Yeah, you're going to have to explain it.
I like pieces. I don't like the game. Because I think this game is going to be a blow 'em out. I think the Falcons are up by 3 touchdowns at halftime. This is a shootout, fact or fiction.
Fact.
Yeah, Philadelphia Eagles are bringing a knife to a gunfight with Jalen Hurts. You're telling me this is going to, by the way, this is one of my favorite picks of the week because this number is too damn small. Atlanta, there are places that Atlanta's come down to -2.5. And those are places that Jeremy wants to be this many.
This many. I don't think that this game is irrelevant fantasy-wise. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be just fine because I don't believe in this Atlanta defense.
You don't have to. What is it that Atlanta was so susceptible against?
The pass.
The pass. You have a quarterback that can't throw. 57% completion percentage guy. That's who he is. I'm out. I don't care. All right, so on the high side, when you look at completion percentage, you go about 3% on each side of the final number to determine what a guy is against a good defense against a bad defense.
Okay.
So you're talking about he's right at 60% against a bad Falcon secondary. And I have either Kyle Pitts or Calvin Ridley going up against the secondary that's not Darius Slay. Okay, then. I believe I'll be just fine.
I could see this being a gross game, like 24-21 kind of a game.
Ron George, I want to give Ron George a plus 407 right now. That is my favorite comment I've seen in a long time.
It was a gift, damn it.
What in the Etsy homemade Asheville hell? That is a lot of adjectives at one time, and I am a big fan of it.
By the way, Ron, how you doing?
We missed you, Ron.
We missed you, man. Really, hanging around here. Glad to see you're doing well. Glad to see the family's doing well. Yeah, this was a gift from a dear friend of mine, Mr. Scott Cutshaw.
It's
got the Buccaneers on it. It's got the Super Bowl patch on it, and I really don't care that it's not an actual jersey color.
This will also be the first official game for Tom Brady George.
Yes, it will be. Tom Brady George, Ron's new son.
Mm-hmm. This is the first Bucs game for him, and that is the only. Ron and TFB George are the only reason that I will nominally be rooting for the Bucs tonight.
Oh, okay.
And then you come in and sway that number to where I'm the biggest Dallas Cowboys fan on earth.
On earth. No, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be a fine. He's going to be a fine play this week.
I don't.
Atlanta also did not do great against running quarterbacks last year, and they didn't even really play one
because there was no Deion Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who's in the middle of that defense?
Deion Jones.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. That defense got faster, just so you know.
Yeah.
I am all over the Falcons this week.
Okay.
But I don't think that game's going to be super fantasy relevant, mainly because I think one team is going to be borderline irrelevant.
Mm-hmm. My next game was the Carolina Panthers against the New York Jets.
And see, I don't think this game – I have this game much higher than you do. Not because I think it's going to be great. I think it'll be fun for me to watch because we're going to be in a box just doing stuff. Yeah. I like Sam Darnold a lot this week. Mm-hmm. I think Sam's going to make a lot of hay against – the Jets are starting 3 borderline rookies in the secondary.
Right.
That's terrifying. There's no Ashton Davis, who's the most athletic safety. He's on the PUP list. I don't know that this sets up well for my team.
I like this all on the Carolina Panthers side. This is another one of those games that I don't care about the Jets. I mean, like Elijah Moore will be a fine flex play in your weekly or in your season-long leagues. Corey Davis also could be a fine play. He'll get you 6 catches for 80 yards. Might get in the end zone. Yeah.
I like Corey Davis a grande amount.
Is my projection too crazy, or you think I'm about
right
there?
I have him at. I think I have Corey at 7. I think I played the roulette special on him. 7 for 77 with a touchdown.
Okay.
He's going to be the possession guy. Elijah Moore is the deep threat. He's the home run guy.
Yeah.
And Dante Jackson may or may not be on him. So.
I like Carolina's side of this, though. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is a no-brainer to me. Even in DFS, I know you're going to pay up big for him, but I think he could actually match his value this week against the Jets. I like it all on the Carolina side, not a whole lot on the New York side. That's why it's so low to me.
I like the Jets side of a receiver. You just have to pick which one that you think it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't have the Jets. I don't have that game much higher than this, but it's a little bit higher than this.
Okay. What's your next game?
Vikings-Bengals.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We're only 2 spots away on that one.
Well, and that's not even that I don't think they're not going to score. It's that I think it's going to be spread just like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Right.
The only no doubt starter in that game to me. A, they both play for the same team. but it's Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. Other than that, you could make a case that you don't want to start anybody on this team. Because I want to figure out what it is.
Yeah, you want to figure out what Cincinnati's going to look like with.
I'm curious what the target share there is going to look like.
Right.
Adam Black said Darnold, CMC, Anderson, Stack.
Bingo.
Might have a DraftKings lineup that looks exactly like that. Also has Dalvin effing Cook in it.
Yeah. Oh, Chuck G wants to know what led me to be a Tampa fan since we live in Carolina territory.
He grew up enjoying great sadness.
Yeah.
The first time he cried, he really enjoyed it, and so he kept doing it, which is also how I became a Jets fan.
Right. First off, I'm old, and there was no Carolina Panthers team here when I was a kid. My grandfather lives in Tampa. He lives on Lake Eden in Tampa, which is right outside of the main city. And my father and my uncle were both fans of Dad's team because everybody here at the time were either Washington Redskins fans or Atlanta Falcons fans. There was no local team, so they adopted the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 1976, and me and my dad have been with them ever since. My uncle is the only one that switched allegiances after 95. When we got our own team, he adopted the Carolina Panthers. I tried for a couple of seasons, but I couldn't do it because at that time, that's when Tampa was starting to get good, and we were making the playoffs, and then we made the Super Bowl run, and after that, it was over. Like, I tried to hold dual citizenship for a while.
Don't do that.
But after the Super Bowl, it was no. Like the first Carolina Panthers game, me and my dad went to it down at Death Valley at Clemson when they played their inaugural season down there, and he wore a Carolina sweatshirt and a Tampa hat, and I had the reverse on. We were pulling for both teams, didn't really care because it was all brand new. It was our team. We were trying to be supportive. And Tampa stuck after that. And then I decided, well, I can't switch allegiances.
Yeah, you can't. No.
So it's been since birth. That's why I love the creamsicle so much, is because I took so much abuse as a child for wearing that stuff when we were, a 2-0 win team. I can't give up on them now.
Yeah, that's people ask me all the time, if you weren't a Jets fan, who would you pull for? No one. I hate all 31 other teams. It's just different degrees of hatred.
Right.
If the Jets disbanded, I would pull for my fantasy team. Unsolicited Dak picks would be my new favorite team.
Unsolicited Dak picks. Excuse me. So we were talking about which game? Cincinnati and Minnesota. I don't know about Joe Burrow. I really just don't know where his headspace is at right now.
I have Joe Burrow as my number one quarterback in a Superflex league. Yeah, guess what? I ain't playing him this week.
Yeah, I think if he steps up, they can make some hay against the Minnesota secondary. But I don't like it all that much. We're only apart by two spots on our fantasy relevance ranking of that matchup. Next up for me is the Seahawks and the Colts.
Yeah, you're still you're wrong.
Why?
Because there's two defenses that aren't going to be able to stop the other one. I have that one in the top 6. Secret time? It's 6. That's why I said 6 instead of 5. My next one's the Lions and the 49ers. And I thought about having it lower because I don't really know what it is that I'm going to want out of this game. But I think Jared Goff is going to be just good enough to make guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown back into fantasy relevant, Terrell Williams back of fantasy relevant. I can't wait to see what that running back split's going to look like because I know what I think it is. I think it's 60-40 in favor of Jamal Williams. And I've been saying that for quite some time. And there's just enough pieces that are back into fantasy relevant for the Lions to bump this up. I don't really like anything for San Francisco outside of Brandon Ayuk if he plays, Deebo Samuel if he doesn't. That's it.
I think Brandon Ayuk is probably. I mean, he's going to have a good game. I don't believe in the secondary for Detroit.
You should.
I think if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be able to throw the ball, they were next in line for me.
Michael Whiteside said, I believe Mostert's going to eat. My only fear is that I don't think this game's going to stay all that close, and you might start seeing a cycle of the other running backs.
Okay, so Trey Sermon and
They may try to
Elijah
get Trey
Mitchell.
Sermon going early. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they tried to force feed him touches or force feed whatever. Because this is a game they know they're going to win.
I wouldn't think so. Late in the game, I don't know. They may play it safe because they know they're going to win.
Over under number of plays you see Trey Lance if he's active.
6. That's the over-under? Is 1?
No, I would say over.
Oh,
Michael
you would say
Busa,
over.
I hope I said your last name correctly. If I didn't, please tell me. Welcome to the show. We're like an AA meeting with sports.
Welcome, Matthew. Welcome. I don't believe in the whole we're going to have 2 quarterback system thing. I don't know how much you'll see it. You think they get up so much that Trey Lance plays a lot late? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think you're going to see this weird little Taysom Hill-y package. And I've kept hearing that. And I don't know how much I buy it, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
I don't know what to. I don't know what to believe about it. I mean, yesterday in the press conference. Here you've got Kyle Shanahan talking to the media, and they're asking him, you ready to definitively name your starter? He's like, I have been saying the same thing since July. Jimmy Garoppolo is our starter. I don't feel like I need to expound on that anymore.
He's the starter
For now.
until he's not.
Exactly.
And when he's not, he never will be again. What's that?
But he is their
Wally
captain,
Pipp?
and
Isn't
he
that
is
that baseball player.
Huh?
Isn't that baseball player that people still talk about from like 19 and 14?
Oh, Wally Pipp.
Wally Pipp. There it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a great chance he's going to get Wally pipped. Or Tom
My
Brady.
theory is
or
that
whatever
Trey
you wanna
Lance is
call
going
it.
to do something incredible in one of those Taysom Hill plays,
Yeah.
where he comes in and everybody goes with him, and I was right about Trey Lance being the pick at 3 till the
were.
last freaking day.
Yep.
You can't keep him on the bench forever.
I don't think he'll play a whole lot unless they do get up by 30 and he plays, the fourth quarter.
I will tell you this: I've done some recon in San Francisco 49ers social media groups, and right now I would say popularity. Coronavirus is here, Joe Biden's about right here, and Jimmy Garoppolo is just nobody ahead of him. So if it goes poorly, it's going to go poorly quickly.
Michael White says he thinks that they're gonna try to run this 2 quarterback system and try to make it work.
Hey, ask old Ed Orgeron how 2 quarterbacks work.
Yeah, really.
Don't work great. Go Tigers.
Just not.
Don't work great. Go Tigers.
It does not. I had them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This was my 9. Detroit, San Francisco is my 9th ranked
not number
fantasy
your list?
relevant game. I did not.
I didn't make a list, so just doing it. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, you can just fuck it. Do it off the dome piece.
I love when people tell me I have a beautiful mind because I literally did used to write on the walls in my office. That's a true story. I was an exec for a high-level multinational corporation, and I had them paint the walls of my office in dry erase paint because I literally wrote on the wall. And I didn't talk to anybody either, so they all thought I was freaking nuts. Just a big fan of them. Nobody ever talked to me.
Yep. Weird that you once worked for the Postal Service.
I did. I used to deliver your mail. I mean, not necessarily your mail, but
Right.
I delivered my wife's mail.
Oh, really?
I thought her name was fake.
Young Love? Yeah.
I literally had conversations about my wife before I ever met her. Like, who the hell has a name like that? Then I met her and went, oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's real.
All right, next game that we haven't talked about on my list is the Green Bay New Orleans game.
Wow. You're that low on that?
No, we're at 7.
That's still low. I have that game at 3 if it doesn't rain. Or 4 or 2 or somewhere up there. I'll
Yeah.
tell you when we get there.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Green Bay at New Orleans in Jacksonville. It all just feels weird to me. Like, I don't know how much Jameis Winston is going to be able to air it out. I know he can, but that was also when he was in Tampa Bay, when he had outstanding wide receivers to work with. He doesn't have that in New Orleans.
No, but there's gonna be more throwing in this game than you think.
Maybe so.
There's a lot of young in that secondary for Green Bay. Look, I was originally on Callaway. If somehow the fantasy football gods came to me in my sleep and said Jair Alexander is not going to follow around Marquez Callaway, he is, but humor me.
Yeah.
Callaway would be my number 1 receiver of the week.
Okay.
Instead, he's going to be the most owned on DraftKings, and I'm going to go the other way.
Who's the other way? Traquan Smith?
Probably.
Because, I mean, that's your next target in that offense. I mean, it could be Adam Troutman, but he's been injured and hasn't been practicing a lot.
He's fine.
You got Jawan Johnson that they used a lot.
He's a tight end.
Yeah.
There's a name. There's a name, and I'm not saying I would play it. I'm just saying it's a name that I want to hear. I want people to hear me say his name.
Okay.
Chris Hogan. Slot guy against the Green Bay Packers has been a cheat code for years.
True.
I'm just saying.
Okay. And I don't want to hear this Jameis Winston can't throw to the slot. Yes, he can.
100% he can.
That's where Chris Godwin was in the year that Chris Godwin was number 2 in all of fantasy football. So don't tell me he can't do that, because he absolutely can. That's why I like Michael Thomas so much when he comes back for the last 11 games of this season. I like both running backs in the game. Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, I think they're going to be fine.
Kamara's just going to be so owned on DraftKings, and I'm not sure that I want to do it.
I could just see this game being...
People are going to go hammer time on Kamara, and it scares me just a bit.
I think both defenses are underrated. I think the Saints have always been underrated in their defensive package. And then, again, I could see this being a game that's scored in the low 20s by each team, and it's very, very close at the end.
So the final score I think I have is 27-24.
Yeah. I just don't know.
We'll give those out.
I just don't know what the
Sunday
pieces are going to be, because on the other side of that, at Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, no brainer, right? Devontae Adams, no brainer, right? I think based on volume, sure, you're always going to play Devontae Adams. He may not be a DFS play,
but he's not a DFS play,
right? But in season long, absolutely, you're going to play him because of the volume he's going to get. But I don't see him going crazy for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns going up against Marshawn Lattimore. No. Lattimore's not what he used to be, but he's still damn good.
No, he's fine. He's just always been kind of susceptible to really good route runners, which is what Devontae Adams is.
Okay. I'm lower on that game than Baltimore and Las Vegas. That's the next one on my list. Because
That's about where I'm at, too, would be Baltimore. And
I like a lot of it for Baltimore.
I like a lot of it for both teams.
I don't like it for Las Vegas at all. Like Derek Carr going up against that secondary with questionable weapons in the passing game. Darren Waller's great. Don't get me wrong. He's fine. He's going to get his. But other than that, I get a shutdown secondary in the Baltimore Ravens going against Derek Carr. I will hold off on that. Thank you very much. On the other side of that, the Raiders defense can be taken advantage of.
4 words.
Yep.
Who stops Darren Waller?
Oh, I don't know.
Nobody, baby.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a higher scoring game than people think. I think the Raiders will hang in that game. It's in Vegas, which means a lot. Mm-hmm. First time you'll have fans in that stadium. Yep. Don't forget those things.
Yep.
That still matters. It's not as important as it is in college, obviously, but it's still important. Rob Johnson asked if I saw the writer on ESPN who picked the Jaguars to make the playoffs. I hope they escorted him out of the building and canceled his key card immediately.
No, they didn't.
They could send it to me.
No, they didn't. They gave him a spot on the morning show with Max Kellerman.
Is it Keyshawn Johnson?
I have no idea who it is. I'm just...
If the Jaguars...
They probably promoted him.
I have said this. If the Jaguars make the playoffs, I will deep fry my hat and I will eat it.
because they're bad. They're going to be bad, and they'll win 2 games all year against the Houston Texans, and that's it. Baltimore, Las Vegas, to me, I want the Baltimore side. I'm good with everything on the Las Vegas side.
I like
Josh Jacobs.
I like a lot in this game.
Yeah.
That game was just on the outside of the top 5 for me.
My 5 is the Bills in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring affair.
I do.
I think both of these defenses are really good. And
I don't.
Why?
T.J. Watt's practiced 1 time. Mm-hmm. 1. That's a little unsettling. And I'm telling you right now, these little subtle jabs that Pittsburgh's taking at Pittsburgh's players are taking at the front office, you should probably listen to that because it is relevant.
Yeah, this is now twice in 2 days that we've had one Ben Roethlisberger say paid T.J. Watt whatever he wants, and then who was it? Casey Hayward, you told me this morning, had gone public and said basically the same thing.
Oh, no, that would be Cameron Hayward.
Or Cameron Hayward.
Casey Hayward does not play for the Steelers, so if he went public about that, right, it would be very odd. Hey, pay T.J. Watt. Who asked you?
Nobody.
Nobody asked me.
Excuse me, Cameron Hayward.
My wife said T.J. Watt's going to surprise you. If he plays, he won't surprise me because I have him as the best pass rusher in the NFL. Mm-hmm. But they need to get that deal done. Hey, Pittsburgh, every once in a while, you got to give guaranteed money outside of the first year. Sorry, just kind of the way the game's played.
Mm-hmm. Both these teams have played in each of the last 2 years. The most points scored was last year when Buffalo scored 26. It hasn't been a high-scoring game, and I don't see it being that again. These are both blue-collar defenses, and I think the offenses are obviously great. You obviously have good quarterbacks on both sides. I mean, obviously, Josh Allen, in my opinion, is better than Ben Roethlisberger at this stage in his career. But like I said before, Ben swayed me in the preseason. He looked like there was pop in that arm. Like the diet has actually worked, and he's going to be able to hit his receivers. And I'm sure it's going to be fine, but I don't know. I just don't see a whole lot of points being scored in this game.
I do. A lot.
Guess at the final score. Or guess at the total. Let's not give away your picks, all of them today. Guess at the total for this game.
55.
Okay.
I'm not telling you who's going to win.
I think it's somewhere more in the 45 range.
Jason Trump asked in the comments if he had missed the Eblin Best Ball charity draft. First of all, this is the last day to get into the season-long best ball leagues. We'll be doing DraftKings leagues where it's $5 leagues, $20 leagues, weekly, winner takes half. But this is the last day to get in the Eblin Best Ball leagues. If you go to thesportsocracy.com, it's on the main page. There are 3 tiers: starter tier, Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame. And that's $20, $50, $100 for best ball leagues. We'll be drafting those starting tomorrow.
No.
The players that play tonight will still count. So draft them as you would. We've been working. We are this close to being able to tell you what it is that we've been working on that has been consuming all of our time. That close. We're right there being able to tell you. Mm-hmm. And it's huge.
No doubt about it.
But if you want in, all the money, literally all of the proceeds of this are going to the Eblin Charity St. Nicholas Project. They set up a shopping mall here in Asheville. They let families that are struggling and things like that go shopping for their children. It is a tremendous A+ rated charity. We're so excited to have them as a partner and so excited to do some good. I have said this more than once. I am a slut for charity. I will do borderline anything, as long as it won't harm me or make me cry myself to sleep at night for charity. And this is one that we are very, very, very high on.
We're in the top 5 of the fantasy relevant games of Week 1 in the NFL. Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were my 5. What's your 5?
See, for me, this is where it starts to get close because I like all of these games.
Okay.
My 5, I'm going to go the one tonight. I'm going to take Cowboys-Bucs tonight because I think the receivers will be fantasy relevant. Mm-hmm. I just think there's a lot of things that are going to be relevant, but I think there's going to be at least one player on each team that poops in their pants and screws up your fantasy lineups.
Any chances those are Tom Brady or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott, no. Tom Brady, very unlikely, but possible.
Okay.
Very unlikely, but possible. If it's Tom Brady, this is a blowout.
On Dallas' side?
No.
Oh.
If Tom Brady's the one that poops in your summer salad, then you probably rest assured that Dallas got blown out.
Oh, you think that there's a possibility they bench him?
No.
Like Kyle Trask?
No, what I think is and I would say this is a 5 to 10% possibility. Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette do some weird combination where they wind up with 3 touchdowns because Tom gets the ball to the 4-yard line and then they just cram it at that. The interior of that Dallas line is where the weakness falls.
Right.
No, it's not literal weakness because they're very strong there. They're just not super talented. And then you see some weird line for Brady that's like 22 of 35, 240 yards, and he doesn't get in the end zone. And that's a turd in your punch bowl kind of day.
Another reason I don't like Ezekiel Elliott tonight is because of the offensive line.
I don't like Zach Elliott tonight either. He works at Best Buy down the street from here.
I had Zach Martin in my mind. Yeah. Shut up. Zach Martin being out is going to hurt that. And there again, I've got 2 really damn good run-stopping defensive tackles that are going to be able to plug the holes in the middle. I don't like them running the ball tonight, but I do think all of the receivers are going to have massive fantasy points. This was my 2. Dallas and Tampa is my number 2 fantasy relevant game of the year.
I just think there's more of a chance that you always got to weigh blowout risk because and you also have to. A lot of what I'm saying is for DFS because that's going to be. I haven't zoomed in on that game because it's not on the main slate, so that gets a little hard for me. I don't play showdowns. If I ever come in here and say, "Hey, I want a bunch of money on a Thursday night showdown," I need somebody, preferably a minister, Adam Black, looking right at you, to come in here and talk to me because I have a problem. Or if I ever say I bet baseball. I do want to state for the record, I said I bet a WNBA game the other day and nobody blinked.
Definitely need a meeting.
Covered it for what it's worth.
Well, when you get a tip, you got to act on the tip.
I get tips on freaking everything. I got a cricket tip. Played a lot of cricket during the coronavirus, just throwing that out there.
My 4 is the Chargers and the Washington football team.
Oh, that's a game we hadn't talked about.
We have not talked about that game, and
that one's much lower for me. You skipped a number somewhere in there. That's where the Chargers and that.
That's where they would have wound up in that meat.
They're in that like gross mid tier.
Not for me. I think LA is going to be able to move the ball despite the defensive pressure from the Washington football team. I love Justin Herbert. I think he is going to be fine. The Austin Eckler thing does kind of concern me. He's got a hamstring issue, and he missed practice yesterday, and they're saying he's questionable. I expect him to play, but will they treat him with kid gloves? I don't think so, but I can see a path to it. I think Austin Eckler is going to be targeted a lot in the passing game this year. And then you look at the other side of this game. I get it, Ryan Fitzpatrick going up against the secondary for the LA Chargers. We're not really sure what all that's going to look like, but I'm not really shying away from Terry McLaurin. I think Logan Thomas has got a chance to put up some big points this week. And Antonio Gibson, he is one of the top plays of the week for me.
Let me ask you a question. Over-under of this game is 44.5.
Over.
Oh, I have a button for when you say things like that. I'll go aggressively under. Especially now that I know that there's something going on with Austin Eckler. I think this is going to be a defensive struggle.
Okay.
I could see the winner of this game being first one to 17. So I had this game way further back.
Okay.
My 4 was Indy and the Seahawks. Not because I love either offense, because I hate both of these defenses.
Why do you hate Indianapolis' defense so much?
Because they don't have a corner that's DK Metcalf and I are the same size. They don't think about that for a minute. He runs a 4.4 40. I run a holy shit, I tore something 40. And we are the same size. I look at Indy's secondary and go, you're really going to struggle with DK Metcalf. He's one of those low-key, I think he'll be low-owned because people are going to look at the number, and there's a bigger number in Arizona, Tennessee. There's a bigger number in Green Bay and New Orleans, and this one gets kind of lost. And I don't think it should. Michael Pittman, by the way, is the player that a lot of people are on for Indianapolis, and I don't think they should be. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor. All right, I said it 4 times. If you don't do it, I tried my damnedest to tell you.
He's a DFS play for you against Seattle?
100% he is.
Okay.
100% he is.
Carson Wentz is going to start in the game, and I think that boosts Jonathan Taylor, but not greatly, because I think, Seattle can put more guys in the box. I get that the defense is not great, but obviously
Jonathan Taylor's a good receiving back. I don't hate Nyheim Hines this week either. They've talked a lot about getting him more work behind the scenes, so just something to keep an eye on. I don't know that I'd be going out of my way to do it this week,
right?
But Jonathan Taylor, Michael Whiteside said I had to do it 5 times for the Candyman effect. I don't know what the hell that means, but I'm gonna do it.
He doesn't know what Candyman is.
Is that like staring in the mirror and saying Biggie Smalls?
What?
If you say Biggie Smalls 3 times in the mirror, he appears. Come on, South Park did an episode on this.
I don't watch South Park, you know that. What?
South Park's fantastic.
I watched the first 6 seasons of South Park when I was in high school, and then I stopped watching it.
Well, I see that you don't like fun there, movie boy. You like the shit like the Suicide Squad with Sylvester Stallone playing a shark.
Special effects are way better in Suicide Squad than they are in South Park.
Yeah, plot's way dumber.
That's
got Rocky
close.
playing a shark. 100% it is.
That's not
They're
even
fighting a starfish. Go get somewhere.
Yeah, they have
it's a giant starfish. It's the least lethal
animal. They have a kid that dies in every episode. What's your point?
He doesn't die in every episode anymore.
Oh, no.
They progressed past that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Michael Whiteside said, kind of like
stupid.
saying Beetlejuice 3 times. Never saw that either.
Just let's move on. There is a new Candyman coming out, though. I am excited about
I think it's already out because somebody posted that they were watching it.
Oh, really? Did they?
Because I saw that and I got that super. I don't even know who it was, but I got the Candyman can stuck in my head.
It's different. It's a different Candyman.
I'm sure it is. Just saying, I got it stuck in my head and it pissed me off, and I went, damn you for posting about some movie I don't even know what it is.
That movie freaked me out in my younger years. Dude with a hook, like you say Candyman 5 times in the mirror, and then he shows up behind you and like fucking fish hooks you. Freaky. Anyhow, Chiefs and the Browns is my number 3 game of the week.
It was my 6.
And I don't even kind of understand that.
That game is not going to score as many points as you think it is.
I could see that game
Actually,
being
I think I had it at 5.
both teams being in the 30s.
I should really write these things
game.
down. It's not one of the ones I'm running out to stack in DFS. Name me the player on either side that you really like this week.
Nick Chubb.
You're wrong. You're wrong, straight up.
Okay.
They're playing 3 defensive tackles at all times. Nick Chubb is a borderline. I wouldn't start him in fantasy football this week. The chances of me having 3 better options are very small. I don't have Nick Chubb in my top 16 this week.
That's insane.
That Kansas City defense is going to be better against the run than you think they are. That's why they signed Jaron Reed. That's why they have brought back Derek Nottie. It's why they're playing Chris Jones on the outside. Because they figured out he can do it, and they were pathetic on the outside on the other side of Frank Clark last year.
Okay, other side, Patrick Mahomes.
That's the one that I could be convinced of.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, all of it, fire it up, let's go.
And I'm fine with that. I'm not paying up for that in this matchup. This game will go, I can't remember what the number is. 54.5. Under! It was a 24-21 game.
Okay.
It's where this game is going to sit. Hey, guess what? Just like their playoff game did.
Yeah.
People are getting duped because they're seeing Kansas City and going, Cleveland can score with them. No, they can't. No, they cannot. If you told me, and here's the thing, if Kansas City scores that level of points, they're going to blow Cleveland out. I don't see any path that this is 38-35. I don't see that in the offing. This is either a Kansas City blowout or Kansas City wins close. If Kansas City wins close, the defense is better than you think.
Okay. What's your 3?
It's confusing me because mine's so different than yours that I can't remember who I've already talked about. Packers Saints was my 3.
Okay.
My 2 is Cardinals Titans, and my 1 is Steelers Bills.
That's your 1?
That's my 1.
Yikes.
That's my 1.
I think you're
That's
drunk.
my 1.
Arizona, Tennessee's my 1.
A lot of weapons on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I considered Tennessee, Arizona. It's becoming so popular.
Yeah. That's my number 1 because I don't know which of these teams is going to be able to stop the other one. Tennessee can do everything. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball really well. I don't see Derrick Henry having a massive game, but I can see him having a steady enough game to where the wide receivers do. And Ryan Tannehill picks on him with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones, and that's a lot because that Arizona secondary is, I will say questionable.
It's better than you think. And that's actually why I don't like this. This is why it's not my 2, or why it's not my 1, it's my 2. It's because I think that Arizona secondary and pass rush is going to hold up better than you think it will.
Okay.
I think Derrick Henry does have a big game.
Okay.
I think the clock bleeds a lot in this game because Tennessee's really going to struggle with Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Linebacking depth is not great for them. I don't love the linebackers. I don't love Bud Dupree. I've said it literally since the day he signed in Tennessee, and maybe even before that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love any of it for Tennessee. I like Arizona in this game a lot. I just don't know that this is another one where I could see a lot of guys being good and not many being great. Doggy Man 100. We're like an AA meeting, so.
Welcome, Doggy Man.
What are we thinking, Robbie Anderson or Antonio Brown for the flex? Robbie Anderson by this much. Robbie Anderson is going to boat race my Jets.
Agreed.
I mean, he is going to hold us down and make us like it. And do you know why? Because he's 6'3", runs a 4.37 40, and our tallest corner is 6 foot flat.
Yep.
And not one of them can run with him. I know we play cover 3 trying to keep everything in front of us. It's not going to matter. Mm-hmm. Robbie Anderson's going to hit a big one on us, and Sam is going to do it just to prove a point. I guarantee you Joe Brady has chunk plays in this playbook for Robbie Anderson just to prove to the Jets, hey, look, we're smarter than you.
Mm-hmm.
We figured out how to do it. You didn't.
Yep. I agree with that 100%. It's
like
Robbie
Darnold.
Anderson every time.
I like Darnold a great deal this week.
Yeah. Over on the Arizona side of my number 1 fantasy relevant game of the week, I don't have that much faith in Chase Edmonds and James Conner in the running game.
You shouldn't. And James Conner is going to be just annoying enough to hurt Chase Edmonds.
That's the problem. He's got 2 guys to worry about, not just James Conner. He's got Kyler to worry about as well, because Kyler takes up a lot of rushing yards as well and a lot of rushing attempts.
Yeah, I think that will be less than it's been in the past.
Really?
They're adding weapons to try to do the same thing that Baltimore's doing with Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
They're trying to keep it, and now, granted, he takes great care of himself. He never takes that big crushing blow. And I'm not saying they're going to neuter him from being able to run outside the pocket. I just think it's going to be more of a 7-8 times a game as opposed to the 10 or 12 times a game that it's been.
Right. The Tennessee Titans have giant question marks in their secondary. I don't like their secondary, and I think Kyler is going to be able to sling it. The problem is, I think Tennessee can score with them. That's why this is my number 1 game of the week, because I think both of these teams will score a lot, or at least more than you expect them to. But that's just me. I think overall fantasy star for that game, I mean, it's probably going to be DeAndre Hopkins.
Sorry, all of my fantasy servers decided to tell me at one time, hey, you don't have a kicker. Yeah, no. I don't care. Dougie Man asks, how do we think CH will play overall? I don't love it. I think that's going to be a big old, gross, disgusting committee with him and Jarrett McKinnon. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't love CH. I never have. Stat that I've told a billion times. The last time that, or the next time that a 5'7", 215-pound running back that ran below a 4.48 40 runs for 1,000 yards will be the first time that one's ever done it. Maurice Jones-Drew was just a little bit faster. I look at CH and I think he's to me, Edwards-Helaire is a slower, bulkier built version of James White. And that's who I think he is in the NFL. That's who I thought he was when he was drafted.
I don't see him having a big game against Cleveland. I think he's going to have big games throughout the year, but I don't think this is one of them.
Steady Dropping them said, I hate my fantasy team. I'm so weak at running back. We'll be doing our running back DraftKings video after the show. It'll come out at some point today. I'm going to give you in that video a couple running backs to target who are going to start slowly. And somebody to target maybe 2 weeks from now. They start with an ugly schedule. Somebody's going to panic, and you can get them for pennies on the dollar. And we'll be doing videos like that all fantasy football season long because I love manipulating people I'm in leagues with.
Unfortunately, well, maybe Tyson Williams, if you need a running back, you can still get him in a league. He's apparently only like 36% owned.
Which is stupid.
Tyson Williams is one. That's about it. I mean,
there's more.
Tevin Coleman.
Stop. I'm a Jets fan. Stop with Jet running backs.
His
name's not Michael Carter. Youngham 22. First of all, like an AA meeting. Welcome, Youngham.
Welcome.
He said if the Rams don't make it to the Super Bowl this season or next season, that trade was a W for the Lions. I'm going to be honest with you. It was a win on both sides anyway. I have routinely said I don't think Matthew Stafford's that much better than Jared Goff. However, his contract is much less onerous, and he's a vet leader. He's a vet leader, and there's something to be said for the mental going into the season with Matthew Stafford and how everybody feels about him and how the team feels about him versus how they felt about Jared Goff. Plus, to the best of my knowledge, Matthew Stafford's not trying to bone Sean McVay's girlfriend, so that helps too.
Oh, he's posted
he was
his
trying to bone her. If you didn't know that, Google it.
He posted his running backs here: Kamara, Edmonds, and Tony Jones.
Ooh,
he's got Hines as a backup. That's not a bad.
Kenyon
backup.
Drake's not bad either.
No. And the Washington backup?
Jared Patterson or J.D. McKissick.
I was going to say J.D. McKissick.
Patterson's the one that would get the between the tackles work if something ever happened in Antonio Gibson. They like him a lot.
Yeah, that's not a great running back core that you got there. I'm not sure waiver wire is going to help you because I was going to say Tony Jones would be another one to pick up on a waiver wire, but you already have him.
Well, here's the thing: Tony Jones probably hits a big one sometime in the first 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
And you could probably parlay him into something.
Okay.
Here's the thing: people overreact when they see new names. It's the Latavius Murray. That's another one. He's going to sign on a team. Probably next week, but he's going to sign on a team. And people will lose their shit. God, I wish that'd been Baltimore instead of Le'Veon stupid Bell.
If they'd just held out another day.
It was so close.
They could have
wait an hour. He got cut right after you announced that deal.
Right. Could have had it. Overall, I'm just beyond excited for this evening and the kickoff of the NFL season. Obviously, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys. We'll have more breakdowns of the game coming up this afternoon on the ESPN Asheville Show. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, live 3 to 5 weekday afternoons.
One of the things that I've been working on the last few days with somebody that does a great job of helping me not pull my hair out. We've added a bunch of things to the website. So the competition for a cause is there. If you want to enter the DraftKings contest, you can do it through that as well. We'll have a button up for that today. You have to enter it, and then I'll send an invite to your DK username. So if you want to put that in the comments, we're totally good with all those things. There are $5 league. There's a $5 DraftKings league, $20 DraftKings league. I'll have visuals up for all of that. There's also a submissions box on the website, which is tremendous. If you have questions, whether they're fantasy football, betting, anything, they come directly to me in one nifty little folder that we set up just for that. So the sportsocracy.com, if you have questions that you want to get to us, that is now the streamlined way to do that. I figured out with the Rate Your Team, because they got sent to me in 411 different places, that we needed something to streamline that. So now we have that.
Excellent.
We also have a link to our betus.com promo deal. 125% of your initial deposit. If you put in $100, you will have $225 to wager with this weekend, just for using our code, Sportsocracy. It's the only sports book that Warren Sapp bets with.
Yep.
And what that means to anyone, I do not know.
But it's on their front page at betus.com. Bet Us, we welcome them into the Sportsocracy family, and not a moment too soon with NFL season kicking off. Jeremy, of course, will have his Green on Green picks this afternoon on ESPN Asheville. And yes, the 125% deposit match on Bet Us. Use the promo code Sportsocracy, and that exists up to $2,500. So just in case you're a big baller and you want that extra free money, if you can make a sizable deposit into your account,
and if you already have
the 125 still stands.
And if you already have a Bet Us account, you can drain it and use an alternate email. It does work. Don't ask me how I know.
Tonight, NFL season kicks off. Tomorrow, we will have more coverage, game by game, of what you should do in your fantasy leagues. We will have our rankings, our weekly rankings tomorrow.
We'll have all of the rankings. Let's see, we go 50 deep on running back, 50 deep on wide receiver.
Holy shit.
25 deep on tight end and quarterback. Yes. And defenses. Woo. Defense. And that'll be on the website too, the Sportsocracy.
We're going to do kickers too? Can we do?
No.
Kickers
your league
aren't
shouldn't
people.
be using kickers.
Right, kickers aren't people. You shouldn't use them in fantasy football.
No, add a tight end, a tight end premium or something.
Right.
Do something. Just not freaking kickers.
Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you see all our content as it comes out. We will have our DraftKings top running backs to use this week. Coming out later on today. We're also going to hit on wide receivers, and we'll have tight ends and defenses. I think that's planned to come out tomorrow. So look forward to that. Hit that subscribe button so you know every time we have extra content coming out here in the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. Back here in the Wicked Weed studio tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. We'll see you on the radio side this afternoon.
Be sure to join the DraftKings contest. I want to kick all y'all asses.